Hey there, my name's Matt. You haven't met me yet. I appreciate you listening to our first episode. I just threw in this little disclaimer. The first few episodes we actually recorded, we did under the name His and Her Gaming. So this is actually Co-ople mode, but they were good episodes, so I didn't want to throw them away. So here's the actual episode, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hello, and welcome to His and Her Gaming, a couple's opinion on gaming. I'm your host, Matt.
And I'm your co-host, Rose.
Welcome to the show. We are just your average couple from the Midwest, married, have a child, and I decided, hey, we needed more to do in our life, so let's start a podcast together. How's that make you feel?
He's trying to get me out of my box of video games that I love. To broaden my horizons.
Yeah. I would say I'm the main gamer in the household. I like to play all sorts of things. You are very localized, I would say. You have like your 5 to 7 favorites, and like you could play that for the rest of your time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll go over some of those great games, but let's give you a rundown on how we're planning to do the show. Okay, so essentially we're going to be splitting it up into 2 different parts. The first part of the podcast will be me. I end up playing whatever game we're talking about during the week. And I will give you some info about the game. I'm going to talk to you about how I feel about it, my opinion, and I'm going to try to sell Rose here on playing the game and get like a vibe of how excited she is to play it and to try it for the week based on what I've explained. And then she's going to get some time to play the game. And we're going to come back and record her opinions. And we'll have a nice little discussion on it afterwards and give a final couple rating between what we decided. Does that sound fair? Are you excited? Are you nervous? I'm gonna make you play video games and be hovering over your shoulder.
I know that there's a lot of games that you've always asked me to play, and I always kind of put it off. Nah, maybe later, not today. I'd rather play the same game I've played for the last 10 years right now. So I'm a little excited because maybe I'll find something new to love, but I'm
excited because I get to share more of what I like, and you'll listen to me if I get gush about a game, but when you understand more like what's super exciting about it, that gets me excited.
Right.
So instead of just talking over the dinner table, we're going to talk into a mic and, repeat ourselves over and over and over again, but we'll get it right. So let's get into the meat of the podcast. Our game this week, we're starting off episode 1, Hitman 3, the final game in the World of Assassination trilogy, which is kind of like a soft reboot on the Hitman franchise. It was released in January of 2021, so a year ago now. We're real keeping up current on those current games, you know what I'm saying? It's the 8th total release in the main line of the Hitman franchise, and it was developed by IO Interactive. And this game was so popular that the profit boost they had from 2021 to the year before, they more than doubled the profit just because of the release of this game, which is pretty impressive. I found a interesting tidbit of information about IO Interactive, just about their journey as a game developer. They had originally worked for the publisher Eidos Interactive, which led to them being fully bought out in 2004. 5 years later, Eidos gets bought out by Square Enix, which is just a monolithic company themselves. Fast forward a few years to 2016, and IO Interactive just released the first Hitman of the World of Assassination trilogy, which is, like I said before, a bit of a soft reboot. It didn't sell as well as they thought it would, so couple that with Square Enix making a bunch of cutbacks, they decided to sell IO Interactive. But lo and behold, IO Interactive decided to do what's called a management buyout in 2017. They got their company back, and they got the rights back to the Hitman franchise, which they've been working on since the beginning. So they get some independence, they get their own franchise back, and I just think that's like a cool story of you being owned by all these big publishers, and eventually you kind of get back what's important to you. And I always think that's a kind of a cool come around story. But I have to give a shout out to Square Enix. The president and chief executive of Square Enix at the time stated that the company's decision to divest itself of IO Interactive alongside Hitman was made because they felt like the series needed to go on but would be in better hands with another partner or with IO Interactive themselves. So they're just straight up saying that, you know what, this game needs to be made, but we're not the people to do it. And I hope someone keeps it going and makes it good. And I can just appreciate a bit of humbleness on their part. And currently, Hitman 3 has the highest Metacritic score of any other Hitman game, sitting at 88 out of 100 currently. So that just goes to show that this is truly a really good game worth talking about. All right, now that we got all that fun information I looked up online out of the way, I'm just going to straight up talk to you about things I think are cool from playing it. And I just been replaying it lately this week, and it's just so nice that I can jump in and just play again. Like, I kind of forgot how fun this game was a little bit. You get distracted by other things. We're trying out new games, even stuff we've been playing together. But it has so many cool things that you can do. And one of the big things is, being the third game in this trilogy, if you own the first two games, you can play all those old maps in Hitman 3. It's almost like it's one solid game. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so you can go back and replay it. So I have it on the PC through Epic Games, and I had gotten the first one through a special pack, so I paid like $5 I think at the time to get all the Hitman 2 ones added to my Hitman 3. And they this is what's exciting, they just released the whole trilogy on Game Pass. So you don't have to be up here on the computer when you play it. You can play it on the Xbox down in the living room.
Because I get so much TV time.
Yeah, well, we're always playing, games where we go out and assassinate people in front of our kids.
Not true.
Yeah, totally not true. But it will be nice because, we can relax at night and I can kind of watch you. And I'm kind of excited to see you play.
Backseat gamer.
Well, I try to be good about it, but sometimes it's hard. You're like, go left! Because there's some super cool item. Another one of the cool things is that they are still currently adding new content. So you get these people that are more hardcore players than I am, obviously. I'm pretty casual about my investment in any game.
Mm-hmm.
And they're adding so many cool new things. Apparently there's a roguelite DLC that they're coming out with. So you have Agent 47, that's the main character, in his home, and you pick missions from a board and you upgrade and you find items out in your missions, and if you die you lose all your items except whatever you brought back home or something along those lines. So I'm really excited for that because I'm close to finishing all the campaign missions now, and a mode like that really hooks me. I'm kind of a sucker for roguelites, I found out this last couple years. It looks really good for a game of that generation. Like, even on the Xbox, I know this game looks good. There's people everywhere. All the maps feel lived in, which is pretty tough to do. And so it's kind of exciting to just walk around like a bazaar district in India There's just people everywhere, people selling cloth, people selling food, and like everybody's talking, and you can just get distracted in the city, which is pretty interesting. It's fun to explore, even just to see, like, did I go this way yet? I also appreciate the almost puzzle like way you can approach any of your assassinations. Like, you know, this person needs a new dress, so you go find a tailor and you take his clothes, because that's how this game works. And you become the tailor to go get them fitted, and you gain access to areas you wouldn't normally get access to. And that's just so fun. They do it so well, even though you're just this hard ass looking guy and you just basically like a Barbie doll. I'm gonna take this person's clothes. I'm gonna take this person's clothes. This guard gets me in here, but it doesn't get me to the top level. I need an elite guards. And you have to pay attention, because when you change clothes, different people are gonna be like, hey, you don't belong here. I don't recognize you. But other people won't even touch you, because you're just, oh, that's one of the elite guards. I don't want to mess with those guys. I don't know anything. They're, like they kill people or whatever they're thinking at the time. And even if you mess up, they have such a nice save system. So if you're unsure when you're going in, you can make a quick save, run in there, mess it up, and just go load your save right where you're at. So,
well, thank goodness.
Yeah, right? Trust me, it's saved my butt a few times. Like, you go in, I go left, all of a sudden there's a room full of people that know you're not supposed to be there. You get shot full of holes. Don't go left. Let's go right. Or, is this costume or is this, outfit gonna get me into this room? Nope. I'm trespassing. Well, let's not mess up my save. And there's all these fun little objectives you can do, too, after you do a mission. Like, certain ways you can assassinate people, and you get little, achievements for it. So it's fun to replay levels to find different ways you can go about doing it. And it really does a good job of making you feel like this badass super assassin, because you got these senses. You can see where people are. You are good at, you always know where your targets are, but it's your job to figure out how to get to them. And you'll just be walking by like a couple guards talking, and they'll talk about how, oh, this gardener is gonna get reprimanded later, and I gotta go find him. Well, if you know that, you go take this gardener outfit, and he comes to find a gardener. You're in a gardener outfit. All of a sudden, you're the one getting in, and they bring you right to your target, or something like that. So it's a lot of...
Who takes the time out of their day to reprimand a gardener?
I don't know. It depends on the
Somebody
mission.
that does deserve to be assassinated.
Okay. I just want to say, I don't think that's an exact way to get in, but that's an example. And I just want to take a minute to talk about like my favorite level I played so far. It's like playing Clue. That's what it feels like. It's the map of, what's it called? Dartmoor, and it is this big Clue mansion. And when you get there, you got no outfit. Well, there's this private investigator who's rolling up. So you lure him into the weeds, knock him out, take his clothes, and he's supposed to be this famous or like really renowned private detective. So you go up, and they just let you in because there's a murder that already happened on the estate. They bring you in to solve this murder, and you're just using this as an excuse to get to the person you're trying to kill. But I got so distracted that I was taking so much time trying to solve this murder and finding secret entrances.
You're
and
trying to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, I'm trying to solve the murder, and then like afterwards it's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to kill this lady. I just push her off the ledge. And it's really interesting, and it's so fun because when you know the level, then oh man, if I go here, this is the secret like button I push to open a door, and I can peek in, and I can lure someone into this room. Or there's so many interesting ways you can do things. It's hilarious. Another favorite moment of mine is you're on the top of this tower. I think it's in Dubai. And it's just a skyscraper. Well, the people you're trying to get have like an emergency escape plan where they put on a parachute and jump off, just leap off the building, and they'll get picked up. Well, You can make the alarm go off on purpose that they need to get the hell out of there, but you can sabotage the parachutes and they just jump off to their deaths. And then you feel so cool because you're like, I did this and nobody knows, and then you just leave. Like,
you just feel so cool.
Yeah, like it does really a good job of, like I said, making you feel like you're this master, super intelligent assassin. And this is part of what I think is fun, because I played through every mission once. I've done a couple replays just to see different ways I could go about it on my favorite mission. But what I go and do and what you might go and do is different. And I'm interested to see how you might go about it. So that's kind of what I think would be fun. So that's kind of my pitch for the game. So how are you feeling about it? Does it kind of make you excited? Are you interested in it?
Yeah, I'm more excited hearing about it now from you than what I have been when I've seen you play it in the past. It just looked, a little bit like, old Hitman games looked a little bit silly, or I just wasn't, concentrating on it.
I'm just a bald dude walking around.
Yeah,
are you having fun
in a
walking?
suit? Yeah. So, I mean, the way you describe it as being more of like a puzzle game and all the different things you can do and how realistic the world around you is, that gets me a little pumped to try it out. And I hope that I like it and want to keep playing. Yeah,
and like I said, that's one of those cool things. Like, the worlds always feel very lived in. There's people everywhere. There's servants and waiters and workers and just anybody you can think of. So you never you kind of never know what you're going to run into or how you might get around to doing it. And if you pull off something really cool, you feel cool.
It sounds like a game with really fantastic replayability.
Yeah, people really love it. There's a lot of moves.
Just keep playing and playing and never get tired of it.
Yeah, there's a lot of modes where you find elusive targets where the targets are much more aware. They're much more likely to run, and if you make a mistake, they're gone and you can't do it. And there's new fun modes that they're gonna do. There's some simple ones like you're just a sniper and you got a whole place you're looking at and you're trying to snipe targets all at the time. But I always really enjoy the ones where you can sneak in, sneak out. Nobody knows you were there. You weren't recorded. It looks like an accident. And I love those kinds of assassinations. And it's why I had such a hard time getting into the series before this soft reboot they kind of did. Because it was so hard to know how do I make this happen. And this game, I wouldn't say it holds your hand, but it's hey, if you found this conversation, well, here, this is where you would go if you want to poison their food. This is where you go if you'd want to sabotage this railing. This is it gives you what Agent 47 would know what to do, but not anything more than that. You still have to get there. You still have to find the right tools and things that you can use when you get there. So it is a very enjoyable game, and I'm excited for you to try it. What do you think, on a scale of 10? How excited are you to try it now? You can be honest, because we're gonna base this after you get a chance.
I mean, maybe a 5 or 6. My interest is piqued, but I'm not slamming through the hallways of the house. I gotta play this right now. But I'm interested enough where I think it would nag me for a couple days if I didn't get started on it. Where I'd be I gotta try that out. That sounded cool. So as long as now that we're doing this, I'll remember. But
yeah,
I would say a 5 or a 6. It sounds interesting.
You know what? That's fair, because I think
I don't know too much about it besides what you've just told me, and vaguely seeing you play it for a few minutes in the past as I'm walking by doing something else. So
yeah, this is one of those games where I feel like it could be a sleeper hit for you.
Yeah.
That's what I've always felt like, but it's really tough to talk you into something hey, you want to have a game where you just murder people?
It is really hard to talk me into trying a new game. It is so hard. But there are moments when I will see you play something and I'm that looks bomb. I got to try that out. But it just doesn't happen that often. I have a hard time committing myself to doing things.
I know.
Because I'm always doing 7 things all the time anyway.
Yeah. You got like a billion different projects you're working on at the same time.
I have too many hobbies.
Well, I think we'll cut it off here.
Okay.
We'll join back up after you get some playtime, go our separate ways,
Yeah, right. He's going to be breathing in my ear behind my back the whole time watching me play.
Come on, Rose, you going to play? Let's do it. All right. Well, let's meet you back here in front of the mic in a week.
Okay.
All right. Welcome back. It's been a little longer than we planned, but life gets in the way. Have you back sitting next to me, Rose? Like you never left. So let's hear it. Let's start with some simple things. Like, what are some things you liked or disliked about the game?
Well, I really liked how much there is to do. I like how much you can mess with everything around you. Like there's some games where they try to give you the idea of an option of messing around with your environment, but it's not as full as like this game got it. It was awesome. Like, there's so much stuff to grab and take and mess with and do, and it's like, hey, I can turn on this hose, I can turn on this radio. Like, you can just mess with everything. It's fun.
Yeah, Hitman's got some deep pockets, don't he?
Yeah, crowbar, mine. Wrench, mine. I have 3 guns. Yeah. I want this golf ball. Like, there's just... I liked that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the controls on it. Like, once I got through the tutorial, I felt like I had a pretty good grasp on how to do it, and it was easy and pretty, easy to do. What else did I like? I just liked the environments that you got put in. I did not complete the game 100%. For sure. That would take a long time for me to do. Not because I'm bad at it necessarily, but like it's hard to get a chance to play. I actually was pretty stoked to play. Like after I got through the tutorial, I really liked it, and I even surprised Matt with, wanting to play again and again, and I just wanted to kind of keep going. I still want to keep playing it. Like I'm, slowly but surely I will work my way through.
Yeah, it's it was really enjoyable to watch you play. I really I had a lot of fun because just the way you went through levels was so different to me. I guess I have just years and years of games of like, okay, this seems like the best way to do it, and I just do that. But you were always like, I gotta check everything out. I want to do it my way. And it was really interesting for me as well, just to witness it all. And yeah, like you said, you surprised me. Like, I'm gonna play again. And I thought after 2 times, I'm like, okay, she's done. It didn't quite hook her. I did my best. Is there any specific memorable moment you got out of the time you played? Like something that really sticks out?
A memorable moment.
I got one from watching you.
I think there's a couple little ones. Like, I got very excited on the first level when I was talking to that artist's daughter. And, like, I figured out how to lure her friend away, get her alone so that her artist father would talk to her, and then like I had poison and I poisoned this drink, and he was talking about how he wanted whiskey, and I was stoked. I was over there being a bartender, and I'm like, he's gonna get poisoned. I'm ready. And then I had missed it by like just a hair, and he had already drank the drink before I had poisoned the one on the bar. So we kind of watched the scene play through, and then he walks away, and I'm like, dang. The other memorable moment I would say was I have a tendency to just kind of I poke around and sneak around for so long, and then I get to a point where like, I feel like I've checked out everything I can. I'm like, oh, that's it. I'm jumping in. Jump into a room. And then it's like, oh, crap. Punch this person. Oh, no. That person saw me. Oh, no. And then I'm dragging bodies everywhere in front of people. I had quite a few restart moments that way. There's a particularly funny one, which I didn't realize the door was open on the second level and knocked a guy out, start dragging him across an open doorway, and people in the hallway see me, and everyone gets alerted because I was trying to drag him to the armoire. You got a lot of enjoyment out of that. You started laughing pretty hard. Matt literally said, it's like watching a funny horror movie. It's great.
The killer's just dragging the body across, gets caught before they even hide the body. And I really did enjoy when you were running through this mansion, and it's like, okay, I got outdoor security. Oh crap, they don't like me in here. Knock out a cook, take his outfit, and then like a maid sees you. What are you doing here? Knock her out, stuff her in the freezer. Can't take her outfit, take a guard's outfit. Like, you just kept knocking people out in like every room and hiding the body poorly and taking their clothes.
Not always poorly.
Yeah, sometimes. But my favorite part was you're outside this mansion and you were hanging on the wall. You get up, you're trying to get into the mansion, and there's like all these bags of leaves, like a little wall of leaves, and you're like 3 feet behind it looking at this maid who's like checking everything out, and it's like there's no way she can't see you, but you're just holding still. And I think you did a save state. I was like, just go up against the leaves, hide up against it, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna let this play out. And you get noticed and you're like, oh crap, and you just knock out this old lady. And I just think that's
well, I think the funny part about it too was I would see like maids or women guards, and I would knock them out and totally try to take their outfit to disguise myself, not remembering that I can't wear a female's outfit, but I myself am a female. So I would get confused. I'd be like, why can't I take her clothes? And you would have to remind me, like, because you're a dude and you're not going to fit in that dress. And it's like, oh shit, that's right, I'm a man. So that was, the little bit of gender dysphoria there for me.
Yeah,
but, that was humorous.
Just walking around, and you would just loom on people, like, especially during the training course. You're standing like a foot from someone, and like Agent 47's just got a mean mug on him. Like, he just mean mugging some random person.
Yeah, a lot of the characters were like, "Excuse me, back up." I'm like, why is everybody so touchy?
Here,
Matt gave me a real life physical example of what I was doing. He's like, "Rose, you are being like this," and got real close to my face. I said, and asked me if I would be comfortable with that out in the wild.
Some random bald dude.
No, you're right. I get it now. I'll keep my distance.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
So, but it was fun. Like when I would play, like, we would crack up a lot of the time, but I enjoyed kind of the challenge of it, and I liked... It's just so exciting to get a different level and, like, go... I get super excited to go look around at everything and see what there is and what you have to work with, and I like seeing all the different angles that are possibilities on how to complete what you want to complete. It makes it just... And then you try to do something and maybe that doesn't work out, or you can't figure out what the next step quite would be, and then I can go and try it from a different angle. And so it's like you were saying, like, there's so much playability in it. You could play this game over and over again. I was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. I am not gonna lie. I liked this way more than I thought I was going to. I say it's a solid game. Like, it's a lot of fun. I understand why you love it now.
Yeah.
I feel bad that I couldn't get it before, because like once I got after the first level, I was like, this is really cool. This is a good game. A really good game.
So I sold it good enough for you to be excited to try it.
Yep, I got stoked to try it. The tutorial was a little frustrating for me, but I had to get kind of in the groove of it, and also... Like, I mean, come on, that tutorial, that ship is, like, so overloaded with people, it's just...
Yeah, and I get
but
that.
It's good to, it was good in a way of showing you how to do the different actions you can do, what you can use, but it was tricky.
And you'd have a weird tendency to avoid the mission stories, because you want to explore everything. You feel like, oh, it's giving me the kill too easy. And it's like, the whole point is you discovered these mission stories so you can seek them out. You know what I mean?
I know, but the fact that there's multiple and so many makes me want to see what the other ones are. Because you want to do it in an interesting way.
Oh, I get it. And
that's
plays
kind
to
of
the
what
replayability, right?
Yeah, but that's kind of what makes it fun. Like, even the mansion level, you know, with the photograph part, there was something, that guy was digging a grave, and I knew if I had grabbed a shovel and went over there was something I could have messed with over there. That was interesting. I know you can poison her. I actually ended up killing her with a chandelier, totally on accident. I ended up...
The big antler one, yeah.
Yeah, I ended up just exploring, and all of a sudden I see she's walking into the room. I hide upstairs, and it's like, well, dang, here we go. Shoot the chandelier down, she dies. I expected a lot of guards to come running. Everybody left for some reason and was like, okay, she's dead now.
They drag her body out, and then the guard in the room comes back and takes up his post like nothing happened. Yep. And I'm like, what?
So I just keep cruising around, and it was surprising like that. And that's what I liked about this. Like, it happened in a really natural way. And it didn't alert everybody to my presence. Like, because the worst thing in the world is, like, when I complete a mission and it's time to leave, like, my blood pressure just goes through the roof, and my body is shaking, and my palms are sweating, and I'm like, walk, don't run. And you're freaking out. Like, the anticipation and the excitement that you feel, because you're like, oh, I gotta sneak out of here now before they realize what I did. Yeah, it's exciting.
That is like,
gets you pumped.
You wouldn't think it would be so intense just walking out of a place sometimes, but like right after you succeed, and you're like, oh my god, like, and it gets you pumped. And
I'm just a gardener quitting my job. Nobody pay attention to me.
Yeah, and it goes back to what you said, like, you watch me play it, and it's like, okay, you're just some dude walking around. But when you're actually in it and you do it, like, it feels so much more intense.
It does.
So, let me think. Is there any other, like, questions you can think of you wanted to ask, or things you were curious about?
I don't think so. I mean, does it get, like, harder and harder the more missions you get through?
Generally how it goes. And like the tutorial mission is the one they made back in Hitman 1.
Oh, really?
Right?
Okay.
Yep. It's the same one. And I actually started you in Hitman 3 levels because they've had three, like, those are some of the best ones. I love them. And I like the first two as well. I'm almost, I think I'm on like the last mission on the second one now. I can't remember. But I actually played all the third one's missions first. And they do. Like, basically every mission you do, it's like, okay, now you got more people you got to kill at once. Like, some missions you have to kill 3 people in one mission. Or it's way tougher to get to your hit. The last mission in Hitman 3, you're on a moving train. And, like, everyone. Like, it's so weird how all their missions, it's like you got this huge open place you can run around, and then you got this train which is very linear in how you have to get. Yeah. So it's a lot more like a lot of mini micro puzzles. How do I get past this enforcer that's going to know I'm not the right kind of person?
Oh, see, like, that sounds super interesting.
Yep.
Like, I like the puzzle aspect of
And you could just go through and just freaking blow all those guys away if you really want to.
That'd probably be how I started doing it after a while. I'd probably be sneaky for about a train and a half, say screw it, and yeah.
So you're telling me you would definitely play this game again?
Yes, totally on my own volition I would play this game again. Okay, I liked it that much.
That's good that I like I said, I thought this would be like a bit of a sleeper hit with you, and I'm glad I was right. Because sometimes it's like, oh, I think bros will love this, and then it's like, nope, too much.
I hate everything about it. Burn it.
Yeah. Right. So, what would you rate this game out of 10?
You know, I just
silence.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think I'd give it like a 9 out of 10. Like, and I'm trying not to be overly generous with my rating here, but I mean, the story, I really didn't care about the story so much.
And that's okay.
Yeah, I was mostly like slamming A, trying to get through that as quick as I could, because I was like, okay, I watched about 30 seconds of this and I don't care, and this is too much information that I know I'm not going to remember, so just stick me in the thing. But other than that, and I mean, some people love that stuff though. So that's just my own personal thing. I have a problem with, I want to do the thing. I want to get in there.
I saw a very interesting little comic about, hey, how do we pack this game full of lore? Well, don't shove it in players' faces. They hate it. They hate it when you have to start a game with 30 minutes of exposition to know what's going on or figure out. And then you got games like Dark Souls. None. Hey, you're alive now. You got to go kill this stuff. All the lore in that game you have to find. It's in item descriptions. It's on pages you can find around and stuff, or what people say, and people eat it up. People are like, I gotta go online and watch a video to learn the lore about it. Because it's wild. Exciting. The lore of Dark Souls is wild. But I actually agree with your rating, because I would give it a 9 out of 10. Do I think it's my favorite game ever? No, that's tough. Do I think it's one of like the top 10? Yeah, I would say this is a game I would definitely I come back to again just to play it again, because it's that much fun.
the graphics on it were good. I mean, it's not like
you played on a Series X. Yep.
I did. And, it's not like the most spectacular looking game that I've ever seen, but it didn't really need to be. And it's kind of nice that it's not. Like, there is a thing where if you're looking around at everything so much like you are in this game, you don't want things to be too intense. Like, you kind of need a little bit of simplification to be able to find what you need to find and do what you need to do.
Yeah, yep.
So I thought that was a good balance. The play, the controls are easy. The play is easy. You, like I said, the environment is so interactive. I like so much about it, and the replayability of it, and just the different things you can do. I think what's good about this game is no matter what kind of a gamer you are, like if you like working on the puzzle part of it, of a mission, you can do that. Or if you are kind of like, go in, kill everybody, get out, you can do that. Like, different people that play different ways are all gonna enjoy this game.
Yeah.
I think it encompasses a lot of that. And I think that's what makes it such a good game. That's why I want to give it like a 9 out of 10. Solid game. I can't imagine somebody hating it, actually.
Yep, and you played it on standard difficulty too, so I mean, like, that wasn't like, you knew as long as you took your time to figure something out, like, you would be fine,
Yeah, thank God there wasn't like a time limit, because man, I like to take my time sneaking around for
that's why those elusive targets worry me a little bit. Like, I like to take my time too, and I do a little of that fun save scumming when I'm like unsure, but which, like, on one hand, like, I almost feel guilty as like, oh, wow, I'm cheating, but on the other hand, it's like, you know what, there's so much that can happen, and sometimes there's that one guard who does something wild, or that enforcer who like makes a left turn you're not expecting. And it's like, if I waited another minute I would have known. But
well, that was interesting too, like, just in your targets, like, if you follow them. It was funny because at mission 1 you were kind of surprised. I really followed that artist through his whole loop. And you're like, I've never actually done that. And I'm like, well, how are you gonna kill him if you don't know what he's gonna do? And I asked, like, okay, do they make the same loop constantly? And you told me there's going to be small variations and changes according to what's going on around.
Yeah.
I mean, I just found that all really interesting, but it opens up to like a different, different things can happen. Different murders can happen.
Yeah.
But it's, at the same time, there's still somewhat of a loop that you can work with, so that you don't have to worry about running out of time, totally missing an opportunity. You might miss a opportunity, but there will be others that you can still do.
There's always another way.
Which I just really appreciated, because there's not a worse feeling than sinking like an hour in and missing that one chance, and you gotta reload, restart. I fucked it up. Nobody wants to do that.
I really want to try to complete a level, and I'm not sure which level I'm going to do, but I want to try and do it the old school way. Pick the classic suit, you never change your outfit, and he has the fiber wire, which was his classic calling card. That's how he choked people out, right? Yeah. And I want to do it that way. I want to be able to, because there's always a way for you to get in and get to these people without ever being seen, without ever changing outfits. Like, that's how good Agent 47 technically is. But it's much more fun to be like, I want these clothes. I want these clothes. It's a freaking Kohl's shopping spree up in here. Woo! You know? But, yeah, I can't think of anything else I really need to say. I'm excited that you like it. It makes me happy to share it with you. And I'm really looking forward to
you
next
seem to
game.
really enjoy watching me play it.
It's
just
so
because
much fun.
my shenanigans made you laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it does. Like, it makes me laugh. It brings me enjoyment. And it's this thing where, like, you know, when you understand more about what I'm talking about, then I can be like, hey, guess what happened when I did it?
Yeah,
and you're going to be like, that's
know.
freaking crazy. You know, like, if you've never played the game and I tell you I did this, this, and this, and you're like, I don't know, you might have pressed 3 buttons to do that. You know? So, well, I think that about wraps it up for the show. We're working on finding out a way for people to suggest games eventually. Maybe there's something they want you to play or both of us to play if I haven't played it yet.
You have quite a long list that I accidentally saw a glimpse of. A very scary long list of games coming up for me to try out.
Yep.
Eventually we'll need suggestions, but for now, boy, he's thought of so many all on his own.
Yeah. I every time I play something, I'm like, okay, this is what like. Do I think Rose will enjoy it, or do I think it'll be fun to make her play it? Hey, that's the 2 criteria. So, well, until next time. This has been His and Her Gaming. I'm Matt.
I'm Rose.
And I hope you guys keep gaming with your bestie. Just like us. Ta-ta!